negative $4,732. This was the moment everything changed for me, not because I quit, but because I realized I'd been doing everything wrong. I was staring at my trading account. Red numbers everywhere. Negative $4,732. 3 years of trading. Thousands of hours of YouTube videos. 17 different strategies I'd tried. And I was actually worse off than if I'd just left the money sitting in a savings account collecting dust. I was just like you, probably. I saw a Lamborghini in a YouTube ad, scrolled past some testimonial from a guy claiming he turned $500 into $50,000 day trading and thought, why not me? I had a decent job, decent income, and I had that itch, the feeling that I was supposed to be doing more with my money, that there was some secret that successful people knew and I didn't. So I opened a trading account with $2,000. That first week was incredible. I made $340 on my first 5 trades. I was actually on a winning streak. I told my girlfriend I might be able to quit my job by next year. I was serious about it. I'd found the thing. This was going to change my life. By month 2, I'd lost it all plus another grand. But did I stop? No, because everyone online said the same thing. You need to lose money to learn. This is education. So I convinced myself that losing $3,000 was just tuition, just the price of learning this skill. I started day trading on my lunch breaks at work, then I'd trade after work until midnight. I spent my weekends watching replays of my losses, trying to spot what I did wrong. My friends stopped inviting me to things because I was always on my phone, watching charts, waiting for the next setup. My girlfriend would find me at 2 a.m. with 6 energy drink cans next to my desk, staring at a screen. The problem nobody tells you about day trading, it feels incredibly random when you're in it. You take a trade. You think you've spotted the pattern. You're convinced this is the one. Then the market does something that doesn't make sense, and you're down $600 in 4 minutes. Your heart's pounding. You feel stupid. So you try again immediately with bigger size to make it back. That's called revenge trading, and it's a money-losing machine disguised as a recovery strategy. I was taking 12 to 15 trades a day. Most lasted between 3 to 8 minutes. I had a 45% win rate, which sounds decent. But here's the thing. Nobody mentions. My wins averaged $120 and my losses averaged $380. The math was simple and brutal. I was betting against myself every single day. Over time, I was guaranteed to lose money. It wasn't even close. I remember this one Tuesday. I made $240 in the morning on 3 trades. I felt invincible. By 2 p.m., one bad trade took me back to minus $50. Then I took another, and another. By the close, I was down $1,200. I'd given back 4 days of gains in 4 hours. And my response? I told myself I'd make it back tomorrow. My girlfriend finally asked the question that broke through my delusion. How much have you lost so far? I'd been avoiding this calculation. When I actually added it up and said $4,700, she didn't yell. She didn't get angry. She just looked sad and disappointed. That was worse than any losing trade. That moment, more than the money, made me realize something had to change. I decided to take a break, a real break. For the first time in 6 months, I closed my trading platform and didn't open it. Not for a day, not for a week. I took 3 full weeks off from trading. And something weird happened in that time. I could actually think again. My brain wasn't running on dopamine and cortisol. I could step back and look at what I'd been doing objectively. I went back to basics. I pulled up a chart from a stock that I knew had definitely had a strong move, let's say Tesla in 2022. And I did something I'd genuinely never done before. I stopped looking for all the complex patterns and indicators and just traced the direction of the market with my eyes. I drew a line from low point to low point. Simple, clean, and I watched what happened. The price would approach that line and then bounce back up. I drew another line from high point to high point. The price would approach that line and bounce back down. That's it. That's the whole thing. I started thinking about why this works, and it clicked in a way nothing else had. Trend lines represent the collective psychology of all the traders in that market. When price approaches a support line, professional buyers see it as a good deal and jump in. Retail traders stop panic selling. When price approaches resistance, sellers think too expensive and sell. Retail traders take profits. It's not magic. It's not some secret pattern. It's just human behavior repeating itself. I spent that entire week doing no trading, just pulling up old charts I'd already lost money on and seeing if the trendline strategy would have worked. And in literally every single one, there were clear moments where waiting for trendline bounces would have limited my losses to $200 and let my winners run for $1,200 or more. The difference was staggering. Here's what I changed, and it's what separates people who eventually make money trading from people who never do. 1. I stopped taking random trades entirely. I would only trade when I could identify a clear trend line and the price was positioned right at that line with a clear risk and reward setup. If the setup wasn't there, I didn't trade. That meant I went from 12 to 15 trades a day to maybe 2 to 3 trades a week. 2. I implemented position sizing that actually made sense. If I risked only 1% of my account per trade, meaning if my stop loss was hit, I'd lose only 1% of my total capital. Then, even if I was right only 40% of the time, my account would slowly grow instead of slowly shrink. The math works. It's not glamorous, but it works. 3. And the weird part? The less I tried to beat the market, the better I did. I stopped trying to predict what would happen next. I stopped looking for hidden patterns. I just traded what I could actually see, a trend line and price approaching it. The results were slower but real. Month 1 with this approach, plus $340. It didn't feel like much. Month 2, plus $620. Month 3, plus $1,240. By month 4, I was at plus $2,100 for the year. It was boring, incredibly boring compared to the adrenaline rush and dopamine hit of a $500 win on a crazy YOLO trade, but it was consistent, and consistency is what compounds. After 1 year of actual trendline trading, not perfect trades, not some magic system, not some indicator I found on some forum, just boring, consistent trendline bounces, I'd made back my entire loss, plus an extra $7,700 in profit. Let me be clear about something. I'm not saying I became a master trader. I'm not saying I figured out some secret the rest of the world doesn't know. I'm saying I stumbled onto something that actually works with human psychology instead of against it. The traders who make money aren't smarter than you. They're not using secret indicators or hidden patterns. They're using principles that have worked for 40 plus years because they're fundamentally built on how human psychology actually works. They understand that markets move based on fear and greed, and those emotions play out the same way every single day. The traders who lose money are doing what I was doing, chasing complexity, chasing dopamine, trying to turn trading into a casino game where they're the hero who beats the odds. Casinos are designed so the house wins, and markets work the same way when you're fighting human psychology. Trend lines work because they're simple, and in markets, simple usually wins because it means you can actually stick to it when things get stressful. When you're down $500 and panicking, a complicated system falls apart. A simple system, find the line, wait for the bounce, you can execute that even when you're emotionally compromised. The money wasn't actually the real win, honestly. The real win was getting my life back, not checking my phone every 5 minutes, not thinking about trades in the shower, not feeling that sick feeling in my stomach when I woke up. Just a straightforward approach. Find the trend line, wait for the setup, execute, move on, live my life. The fact that you're watching this means you have the capacity to learn this. You don't need more hours at your job. You don't need lucky timing. You need a system that works with human psychology, not against it.